What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Jabcast, the long-awaited return of the Jabcast.
No.
I am Ben. I am here with my two lovely, now graduated co-hosts, two old men, Alec Krause and Jared Emmel.
Yeah.
You guys want to
Yes, I feel
tell
like
us
I feel
tell
like
us how
I'm
you're
40
doing?
now. I feel like I'm
Yeah.
40 years old.
I know.
You look 40.
Thanks.
Oh,
Ooh, burn.
I'm joking.
Boom, roasted.
Yeah. You look good,
I don't-
man.
Thank you. I don't know how Jared feels, but August 20 something rolled around and I wasn't moving into school and it felt a little weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was
a
never
little
moving into
uncomfortable.
school, but I was on vacation with a friend actually just for like the weekend, and I was sitting there and I remembered it was like end of August. I was like, this is right around the time we've started school since we were like 6,
Yeah.
and now we're not. And
Yeah,
it
was
really hit me
really
right there.
It was
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
I was like,
It
what?
was cool, but if I was like, I'm like used to going back and being in a school setting, and now I'm in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah.
Where it's hot all the time.
Yeah, it really makes you realize how like structured we were for so long, and now the world feels much more open-ended, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, trying to figure out what to do on
Yeah.
a daily basis now.
Yeah.
Create your own schedule, not on anyone else's time.
Got to make money.
Yeah, that's the hardest
That sucks.
part. Yeah, it does. It does. Oh man. But what have you been up to, Benjamin?
It's cool. Just what you guys said that you like weren't up to, but yeah, it's it's my last year here, so I'm focused on what's next for me. What's coming next? What's my big
Really hitting the books?
Absolutely not. Yeah. No, just trying to get through my classes and just try to get out of here decently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's about it.
That's how we did it.
I'm thinking now it's time we jump right into the Jabcast reboot.
Yeah, I know.
Is this it's still the Jabcast? I can't like call it 2.0 because we didn't really change. We're just moving. We just took a gap.
Yeah, we just there have been shows that have moved from like network television to streaming. This is like the same basic thing.
Exactly. We're moving from on air to podcasting.
Right. So this might be a little rocky for show. See, we're also not in the same room. We're over Zoom, so might be a little rocky. Can't see everybody. Actually, I have you guys in a little tiny window, so I can see the outline. So I can barely see you guys at all. So we'll probably be interrupting each other a little bit here and there. We'll figure it out. We're still working on our outline, but we just figured it's a good time to just jump back on, see what works, what doesn't, and we'll work from there.
Exactly. So, Jared, take away your movies.
Let's do it. It feels good. So we're just gonna jump into one piece of news here. Illumination. Now this was a while ago, but we do want to talk about this because it's a good discussion point.
I'm so excited.
Illumination's Mario movie had been announced a year or two ago, and they just released the cast list. I'm just gonna run right down the list here if all these pop-ups would stop on the website. Okay. First up, Chris Pratt as Mario. He went on, it was either Twitter or Instagram, and he recorded himself talking about the announcement and everything. And he didn't do the voice, but he kind of did like a little joke thing. He just, in a complete bland monotone voice, he goes, "It's a me, a Mario." He goes, "No, that's not the voice. He's working on it, blah, blah, blah." Personally, I think this is like the most Hollywood casting ever. Like it just seems really lazy, just to make it the leading man. But I will say, I don't think they're gonna make him sound like he is in the games. There was I think it was early 90s, maybe late 80s. There's an animated Super Mario Brothers movie, and they talked like with Brooklyn accents instead of Italian accents. And I'd be willing to bet that's what they're gonna do here instead. Because I just don't know how you're gonna get Chris Pratt to do an Italian American accent without sounding ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think about this one?
I think it's gonna be kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what it's gonna look like going forward. Chris Pratt, I think, would make a pretty decent Mario. I think he's got the sense of humor to work that kind of a character.
Mhm.
But I don't know how Ben feels about Chris Pratt, but I'm actually excited for some other characters later in this list
Yeah.
that we're gonna get to.
I think it will be like so hilariously bad that it will be good. I think
Yeah.
it will just like you're gonna just the whole time you're watching the film be like, oh my god, that's Chris Pratt. But I think it's gonna be funny. I think Nintendo will get it right. But yeah, I want to talk more about these other characters because I'm really excited.
Yeah. So next up, Charlie Day as Luigi. I'm not overly familiar with him. I know a lot of people are big fans of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I
Mhm.
haven't really seen. I've seen him in Pacific Rim and what was the other one? I forget. But yeah, Horrible Bosses. That was what I was thinking of. Yeah, he's got like he's very energetic and he's got like this higher pitched voice. Which also is just weird to me because that's not how I associate Luigi. But that's just me typecasting him. He could surprise us. I don't really have as much of opinion. I don't know if you guys have more.
I think Charlie Day is hysterical. I love Always Sunny. I think it's such a funny show. He's a funny kid. He's a funny guy. I think he's gonna be able to. He's gonna do a good job on like pretty much as Chris Pratt's like right hand guy. I'm pretty excited to see how he takes Luigi
Mhm.
and personally Luigi. I always would play as Luigi in the Nintendo games instead of Mario.
I'm a
All the
Luigi
time.
guy too. Yeah.
Big Luigi guy.
Ben?
Charlie Day is really funny, but I don't think he's like Luigi. Luigi's always like the quiet, like kind of reserved, like older brother. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And
That's what I
Charlie
always
Day is
thought.
like really loud. But I don't know. Maybe Charlie Day can play that role. But we'll see.
Yeah,
All right. Next
I
up.
definitely agree that Charlie Day's kind of like out of the box, but I think it'll be a good change of pace.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to see. Next up, this one I love actually, and it's probably biased because I'm just a huge fan of hers. But Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, and I'm looking at a photo of her right now next to Princess Peach, and she could play her in a live action movie.
I agree.
She looks she looks very cartoony just because her eyes are so big and expressive. Again, I'm looking at her right next to Princess Peach. It's pretty uncanny. Ben, I know you're also a big fan of hers. What do you think?
Yeah, no, she's fantastic. She's killing it lately. I think that I'm looking probably at the same picture you are. It's like almost like spot on, like precise. So, yeah, she's a really good actress, and I think this is a good casting. She seems to have like the same like personality, so she won't have to like act too much. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Yeah.
I think it'll be good.
Alec?
I've agreed 100% with everything you guys said. I think that's a perfect casting, much like this next one.
All right, what do we got here? Oh, I have an ad. Awesome. I love ads. Yeah, Jack Black as Bowser. Okay. So
Yes.
when I read this, my immediate thought was he would have been better as Bowser Jr., Bowser's son.
Oh, I can see it.
I'm not opposed to this. I think they're gonna take it in a funny direction. Because this is gonna be a comedy. You can't do like Mario characters and it's not a comedy. If it's like a heart-wrenching drama, it's not gonna work. So Jack Black, I love this guy. He can do no wrong in my opinion. So I'm very open to this. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. What about you guys?
I am 100% on board with anything Jack Black is in. He's the best ever. I love him. He is the show's favorite actor, 100%.
Do you remember that email you sent us one time?
Yeah.
Oh my
I think
God.
Subject line?
it's still the header of our Twitter page.
Is it? I couldn't remember.
I think it is.
I'm gonna check
The
that.
subject line is literally just Jack Black, and I don't think there's anything in the email. It's like
I don't know. I think it was.
oh no, I changed it. 'Cause it's us on Ed and Eddie now.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to find it. I know that somewhere.
Yeah, that was funny.
Jack Black.
Yeah, I think it was like a video of him talking about his past roles, and I thought it was interesting. And I was at the computer at work. I was working at the computer in the equipment room, and just sent it to you guys through email because it was easier than trying to refine the
flag. Yeah. Also, I just think email subject lines are a little outdated at this point.
My I
Go
have
ahead.
I'm taking like a news writing class, so I like write for the newspaper, and my professor who works at Penn Live, um,
Oh yeah.
he'll email me from his work account, and the subject line is always just Ben with an ellipses. It's-
Yeah, I had the same professor. He did the same things for me.
yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
Vigna.
jeez. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Ben, what do you think about this?
we just doxed the professor, but
yeah.
yeah.
We can we can edit that out. You can start right now. So Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Jack Black is great here. I would have liked to also seen him as Donkey Kong, but I think the Donkey Kong casting
Oh,
was also
right.
really good. But yeah, this is perfect. Jack
Yeah.
Black's like one of my favorite actors, and um, I don't know if he's done much like voiceover work, like voice acting.
Yeah, I know he's doing Claptrap, but that's not out yet.
Yeah, but I think this will be great for him. And
Oh wait, Kung Fu Panda. What are we talking about?
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
the best movie trilogy of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a great casting. I really
Yeah.
like this.
Next, Donkey Kong, played by Seth Rogen. Again, this is,
Yeah,
I'm looking at their pictures side by side on this article, and it's just cracking me up, just imagining his voice coming from this monkey face.
I
This is
can't
also,
wait.
because I've seen that old Super Mario animated movie I was talking about, where they had the Brooklyn accents or whatever.
hey Luigi.
Yeah. I can't remember if Donkey Kong is in it, or if I've ever heard like a voice attached to him, outside like just like the growls and stuff you hear in Mario Kart or whatever.
Yeah. I don't think there has ever really been a voice to Donkey Kong before. I think this is pretty much gonna be the first voice of Donkey Kong.
I'm like, and I'm looking at him now, and I don't think this is gonna be Seth Rogen, but I would have loved like like a Shakespearean voice, like really articulate and like I think that would have been like a good juxtaposition to his look. But yeah, again, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, that's just a funny casting. I think, and Ben kind of said this with Mario. I think a lot of these castings, they're just doing that. You're just gonna laugh at the prospect of it for the entire movie. You're just gonna keep remembering, oh my God, that is Seth Rogen. Oh my God, that's Chris Pratt. So yeah, I think that's what they're going for here. I think it might work. I really did not like any of these when they were first announced, but as we're going through them now, I think I like them.
Yeah, I think this is great. He does look pretty similar. Are you on the entertainment.com like website looking at the slideshow?
EW?
Yeah. The picture they have, he looked like Martin Freeman for a second in the picture.
Oh yeah, in the orange suit.
But anyway, yeah, this is a good casting. I think it's good.
Yeah.
I'm not like thrilled, but it's all right.
Oh my God. I like I said, I keep clicking through the slideshow and I'm remembering them as I'm reading them. And this one made me laugh as soon as I read it. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. Toad does have a voice, and it's kinda. When like the text is filling in on the screen, it's like that's what he sounds like.
You should voice Toad.
Oh yeah, I should have.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is insane. Also, someone pointed out that all Toads have the same voice. Since it's like kind of like a race. So Keegan-Michael Key could potentially be voicing like a million of these things at once, which would be really funny. He's definitely got the energy for this.
Yeah.
So again, this is another. I can't really imagine what it's going to sound like, but I'm excited.
I actually think Charlie Day kind of would have the same energy.
Yeah, you know what?
The Toad.
He might have been better as Toad.
Maybe.
I agree.
But who would you have put as Luigi? Because Keegan-Michael Key and Charlie Day, I think, have very similar energies when it comes to their acting stuff.
You know what I think? I think because like the casting here is like really like comedic, and you're thinking of like the voice actors instead of like the characters when you watch them. I think it would be really funny if they made like Luigi like British. They had like Benedict Cumberbatch voicing him.
Yeah. Or I don't know, Kevin Hart. Yeah. So again, all of these are out of this entire movie is out of left field.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that. Another ad, click past it. This one I think is great. I
agree.
Talented actor. Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong. Admittedly, I didn't know Frankie Frankie Kong, Cranky Kong existed until this was announced. But yeah, he's an SNL alum. He's no stranger to doing impressions and different characters and things like that. So I think this is one of the safer castings in the whole movie, just because he's reliable in this type of area.
I agree. I like him, and he's played like I kind of feel like Cranky Kong's gonna end up creating a lot of awkward tension at points in this movie, because I feel like that's the kind of humor that I remember him most for, saying something and it just makes the whole room uncomfortably awkward but funny at the same time.
What, like grandpas with like weird racist jokes at Thanksgiving?
Yeah, like I feel like he's gonna have a few lines that are just like,
we don't say that anymore.
Why are we talking about that?
Yeah. Ben, any thoughts?
I have no idea who Cranky Kong is. I've never
Yeah.
like seen Cranky Kong, but Fred Armisen is one of my favorites.
He was in like
it was good.
Personally, that's my golden age of SNL, and I wasn't even watching it all that much. Like Sudeikis, Bill Hader, Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, Fred Armisen, yeah, all those people. This guy, I know the name, but looking at him, I don't recognize him. Kevin Michael Richardson as, is it Kamek?
I think it's Kamek.
Kamek. The it's like the wizard, the Koopa wizard with the blue, I almost said dress, robe and hat.
I think that's the appropriate name for the garment.
Yeah. God, well, I know his name.
He was Captain Gantu in Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, he's Professor or Dr. Hibbert. Oh wait, no, he replaced Harry Shearer in The Simpsons as Dr. Hibbert. So I don't think I've gotten to that season yet.
He played Gus in Adventures and Wonders. He was Goro in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay.
1995.
Oh.
Skipjack in
he's been
Transformers. He's a big voice actor.
Yeah,
it seems like he was in F.
That's probably why I don't recognize his face, but I recognize his voice.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, he's Cleveland Jr. His Twitter handle is at Cleveland Jr.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's in Avatar, Invincible. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in a lot. He's pretty big.
Yeah.
Who was he in Invincible? Was he the dude that could like make himself into a rock or something?
Oops.
I'm scrolling down his IMDb right
now. I just clicked it. The Mahler twins, the blue guys.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, so he's got a deep voice then.
Yeah.
So that's gonna, because from what I remember from Kamek, he did I say that right? I don't remember how he.
I think you're right. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. I always thought he had kind of like he sounded like a Koopa, which they don't have deep voices at all. But again, left field seems to be the name of the game for this movie. So, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm just not looking at what this character looks like. Wait. Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike? I didn't think that's who he was playing. I thought he was playing like this minor guy. I don't know who Spike is.
I'm pretty sure he's like one of he's like related to Bowser somehow.
Oh. Yeah, I don't. Okay, yeah, I think this article is wrong. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Oh no.
Or the picture is wrong.
Oh, Spike. It's kind of like a toad from what I'm looking up right here.
But this is way funnier.
The spikes are like in Super Mario Bros. They're the creatures that would spit the spike balls out at Mario when you're going through the courses. That's what that is. That's what he's playing.
When he was announced, the picture was like a minor guy, Foreman Spike. I think that's what this is actually supposed to be. Look up Foreman Spike.
Foreman Spike?
Yeah.
Foreman Spike Mario movie.
Oh yeah, what?
Yeah, that's who I think he's actually playing.
That's like a man.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. There are creatures called spikes.
Yeah.
Which is that green guy or green thing.
Yeah, that green thing.
But I think The original report was Foreman Spike, and he did. It's saying in an article he announced just he was playing Spike. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm reading the excerpt right now. I'm in the movie Super Mario Brothers, an animated movie. I'm playing Spike, their boss. So yeah, it's definitely Foreman Spike, unless that green thing is somehow, which that would be hilarious too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm gonna EW Entertainment Weekly. You need to update your article because that's the wrong Spike.
Yeah, the wrong thing.
That is the right Sebastian Maniscalco though.
That is correct.
Yeah. I think this is great and maybe a little. He looks like Foreman Spike.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I looked up that picture.
So yeah, that makes sense. That was so weird because I heard this was the first casting I heard like several months ago.
Yeah.
Out of everything, it was Sebastian Maniscalco is in the Mario movie as Foreman Spike, and I didn't know the Mario movie was happening, and I didn't know who Foreman Spike was, so I like read a little bit about it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, that's it. That's it for the website or the article. I don't know if there's anything else. Who? All right, we got I don't know. Hey, we're not on a time limit, really. Alec can just cut out if we say
this out.
stuff that doesn't matter. So, who would you guys want as Wario and Waluigi?
J.K. Simmons is Wario.
Oh, that's good.
Waluigi, Michael Fassbender.
Ooh.
I'm just naming the first actor that came to mind.
I made a comment on Reddit about this. I don't know how many comments down this was. Alec, why don't you go ahead and I'll see if I can find this.
I'm trying to think.
I have a perfect one for Waluigi.
Oh, someone said Danny. Oh, I said I said Danny McBride as Wario.
You know who would?
And I said Bill Hader as Waluigi.
Here's who I want as Waluigi. I can't remember his name right now. I'm trying to find it. I want the villain from Lazy Town to play Waluigi.
Oh, didn't he die?
Yeah, I have bad news, Alec.
He did. Yeah, he did die, but he would have been good.
Yeah, he would have been good.
I can't. What is his name? Stefan Carl Stevenson.
Stephenson, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's
unfortunately he did pass away. Sorry. But I think that actually would have been great because he looked like Waluigi from Lazy Town.
Yeah, he did.
I'm gonna say Danny DeVito as Wario.
Yeah.
I mean, they have
that would be good too.
They have the appearance, and I'm gonna say Sacha Baron Cohen as Waluigi.
That's good. Oh, you know what? Sacha Baron Cohen would be a good Luigi too. Like just
that is
Luigi.
True. That is true.
I can't.
Who else did they leave out?
Diddy Kong.
Diddy Kong. Need someone energetic, young and energetic. All right, besides me, because I'm busy.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty good.
Definitely a big one.
Yeah, especially him opposite Seth Rogen.
Mm-hmm. I'd even go as far as saying like Bert Kreischer would probably be a good Diddy Kong because he's all over the place.
Is Diddy Kong like a kid though?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like a little kid.
Yeah, he's like a teenager. Yeah.
So like if you try to make it a little kid.
Yeah.
The only guy I probably could think of is Tom Holland, who's like ADHD.
Tom Holland is Diddy Kong. That's funny. Who did I just think of? So I'm gonna make an executive decision. If we were to make Jack Black Bowser Jr. instead, they should make Adam Driver just Bowser.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Because that guy, he has such a monotone voice, but he's hilarious. Yeah. I don't know if you saw him on SNL. I think he's been on SNL 2 times now. He's so funny, like the way he like delivers things so dryly.
Yeah. Tina Fey, Princess Daisy.
That's good.
That's a really good one.
That's really good. Yeah.
Spot on.
Yep. Gotta have nobody. There was nobody there for Princess Daisy. I'm surprised they didn't cast that. She's my
There's gonna be a sequel.
Toadette.
Me.
Ben as Toadette. I like it.
Toadette, Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, that's good. She's just annoying enough.
Yeah. And then we should just do Amy Poehler as Birdo.
Yeah. And then, so then who would you have as Yoshi? Or did we already?
Okay.
pick Yoshi?
Okay. Is Yoshi a girl or a boy?
I feel like it's a boy because they made Birdo that's similar and
True.
very girly.
Yeah. The reason I asked that is because he lays eggs.
True.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's a he. Yeah.
All right. So who would be playing Yoshi?
Are we? Oh, Ben Schwartz.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Although actually we can't. He's already Sonic the Hedgehog, and how would they cross over for the Olympic Games movie?
True.
Good point.
Who'd we say was Birdo?
Amy Poehler.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Will
We need
Arnett.
that would be pretty good. We need to work. Got to work Jason Bateman in here somewhere. What role can we carve for him?
Oh yeah. Bullet Bill.
He could be.
I'm gonna look up Mario characters now.
He could be.
Wait.
Oh, King Boo. King Boo.
We got
King
to
Boo would be
back
good.
up a little bit.
What's
For Wario, Nick Offerman,
That's pretty good too.
Do like that one.
or he's one of the Bowsers with Jack Black.
Yeah, when are we diving into the Bowser family? We're not gonna do all that today, but we'll wait till the second one gets announced.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to.
What about Funky Kong?
Funky Kong?
Mm.
I forget Funky
Yeah,
Kong.
how many?
Wait, who's Pauline? Who is that? I don't know who that is. She looks like the girl from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Who did you say, Ben?
Funky Kong thing.
Funky Kong. Oh, that's got to be. Oh, you know what? If we're doing Danny DeVito, if Danny McBride is not Wario, he could be Funky Kong.
I was thinking like Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele would be good too. Why is this one like he's super fat? Tubby
Really-
Kong.
Really let himself go.
They called him Tubby Kong. All right. Well, when they announce another one, we can dive into this more.
Yeah, and looking at the IMDb for the movie,
Mhm.
Charles Martinet is labeled in the cast as a voice, but I'm not sure what. He's done a lot of the Mario.
Yeah, he's the original
video
Mario
games.
voice. Yeah.
So he's listed as a voice, so I'm thinking he's gonna be doing something in this.
They're gonna
movie.
do the Mario multiverse.
Yeah. But
Everything's multiverse now.
always. But moving on from Mario, I'm gonna jump into a movie that we will all be discussing next show.
Yeah.
Jared.
So sorry, my cat just tried jumping on my bed and failed. Just making sure he's okay. Yeah. So I was just looking through like Netflix and Hulu, the streaming services I know all three of us have, trying to find some horror / sci-fi stuff just to get into the spooky spirit. And I decided on Mars Attacks, which is this. I don't know if you guys looked it up yet. It's from 1996. It's got a big cast actually: Jack Nicholson, Pierce Brosnan, Glenn Close, Annette Bening, Natalie Portman, Sarah Jessica Parker, Michael J. Fox. I don't really even know what it's about, but I just know what the aliens look like from it, and they look so ridiculous. I just have to see it.
Oh, it's a Tim Burton movie.
Is it Tim Burton? I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
Tim Burton.
it looks nuts. I saw a shirt I've known about this movie for a while, but I just saw a shirt like the other week with the aliens on it. I was like, I think they
Oh
look
my God.
awesome.
Oh, it's those aliens?
Jack Black is
Yeah, Jack Black's in it. Hey, there we go.
Jack Black, Danny DeVito.
Yeah, there we go.
Bunch of people
Yeah,
that
so
we brought up already.
I gotta see this movie just to say I've seen it. It looks horrible, but in a great way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I actually might really like it. And I think you guys will too. So yeah, we'll watch this. And we'll talk about it next show.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
I've never seen it, but yeah, I definitely have seen pictures of it because I've seen these aliens before.
Yeah, they're very iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Alec pitched this really great segment idea to me just a couple days ago, and I think it's going to be really great because I'm constantly at the movies now because they're
Yep.
open and they're running. We're steady now, so Alec thought it'd be a good idea for me to basically not go all that in depth here, but just talk about the movies I've seen in theaters in the last week and tell you if it's worth the ticket price or just wait until streaming or renting.
Mhm.
So this wasn't last week. Well, actually, technically, it was last week for me, but it opened 2 weeks ago, which is the last James Bond movie for the Daniel Craig era, No Time to Die. This was fantastic. I saw this in IMAX. If you're a big fan of the Daniel Craig era, you're going to love this one. I think it's a very satisfying ending to his version of the character. They're ending his arc, which 5-movie arc at this point, starting with Casino Royale in 2006, I think. So yeah, 5 movies. He's going to be replaced by another actor after this. We'll have to see what that is soon. Yeah, it's really, really great. I was very satisfied with what they did with his character. He's my favorite Bond. And I think it just really helps for me that there is some character development to him. There's he goes through an arc over these 5 movies. And I love most of the James Bond movies. They're all pretty great. All the actors do a good job as well. I just really think adding character development, like I said, and the arc just adds some connection to the character that the other ones didn't have. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this. If you've got the money and the time, see it on the big screen, IMAX, if you can. It's fantastic. Next up here is The Last Duel. This is based on a true story. It's a movie by Ridley Scott. It was written by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and one other guy, I forget his name, but they also star in it. Adam Driver joins them as well, and newcomer Jodie Comer. She was also in Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. This is probably my favorite movie of the year so far. It's based on a book, which is based on true events, like I said. It's so the concept. There's 3 sides to every story: your side, their side, and the truth. That's how they approach this movie. Adam Driver is accused of raping Matt Damon's wife, who's played by Jodie Comer. The movie opens with their last duel starting, and then it cuts to, and it says Matt Damon's character's name is Jean, and it said Jean's side of the story, and then it plays through the events leading up to the accusations based on how he tells it, and then it basically goes up to the point of right before the duel, and then it restarts and it tells the events from Adam Driver's character's point of view. And then it does the same thing from Jodie Comer's point of view. So, and it's not like you're seeing the same movie 3 times in a row, just from different characters' perspectives. They go different places, so you still have a lot of variation in scenes. But there are a few scenes that are different or that are the same in each of their stories, but they play out slightly differently, which just shows like the biases of people, how they tell stories, things like that, how they perceive things and how they remember things. So it's really fun to compare those similar scenes when they're played back to you again from a different person's perspective. Some of them are really subtle, some of them are really in your face, but yeah, it's fantastic. It's begging you to watch it again because I'm sure I missed some different clues here and there about who's right. Yeah, really, really good. Fantastic acting from everyone all around. The writing, the screenplay, just how it was, and I'm sure that's how the book was too, but broken up into 3 different stories. So cool. Yeah, can't stop thinking about it. I want to see it again. And then
Awesome.
last here, Halloween Kills. This is the most recent Halloween movie in the franchise. It's the 12th one. Technically, in the current timeline of the movies, it's only the third. 2018, a movie came out that basically got rid of all of the continuity except for the first movie. So it picks up 40 years after the first movie. This one picks up immediately after that one. Yeah, it's good. I'd say for the franchise, it's one of the best, top 5. As far as horror movies go, it's good. It's I guess it kind of reduces itself to more of a traditional horror movie. It's just a lot of blood and gore, as the name would imply. Usually the other movies are a lot more suspenseful, not as much killing, but when it does happen, it's crazy. But this one is killing all throughout. So yeah, it's good. I would recommend it if you're a fan of the franchise. If you're just a horror movie fan and maybe haven't seen the Halloween movies, I don't know if you'd think it's anything special, so you might be able to skip it. It's also on Peacock if you just want to watch it at home, so you could do that as well. You may be able to finagle a free trial. I don't know if they'll let you watch a new movie with the free trial, but worth a shot. If not, if you got nothing else to do, maybe you can see it. But it's also not groundbreaking enough that you have to run to the theater to see it. So yeah, that's my spiel.
What's coming
Yeah,
out?
what's coming up? Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff. Dune is in theaters and on HBO Max this Friday. And then The French Dispatch is also in select theaters this Friday. And what that usually means is it's going to be like New York and LA, some places in Canada, but it'll be out everywhere on October 29th. So
Sweet.
there you go.
All right. Moving on into the television side of our show.
Yes.
We all plan to watch Squid Games. Squid Game.
Singular, one game.
Squid Game. One game. This show seems wild. I watched the first episode, and as Jared preaches nonstop, subs not dubs. And I
Yes, sir.
agree after watching
Yes,
the
sir.
first episode. But I will be watching all of it. And Jared, I'm sure, has very select opinions about the subs, not the dubs, not subs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I have finished it. I'll wait for you guys to watch it, but I'm excited to hear what you think.
yeah, Ben,
Yeah,
you
not too
said
much.
you said Hunter, right? Watched.
Yeah,
Watched.
a friend of mine. Well, Alec, you know Hunter.
Yeah.
He has almost no attention span, and he whenever he's like about doing stuff, he'll just like have his phone out playing something. And lately it's been The Simpsons, but for like a week he was not watching The Simpsons, so he switched to Squid Game, and he was just fast forwarding through the episodes. I just went into the kitchen, he's just double tapping his phone to like skip through, and he got to the last one, and he was like, all right, that was pretty good.
Jeez.
So how long did it take him to do that?
I think it probably took him like 45 minutes.
Wow, that's record time to watch all of Squid Game.
Yeah, probably. But what's coming out?
Yeah, we got a couple cool things here. I basically just wrote stuff I'm excited for. I know I used to rattle off a ton of stuff, but a lot of things I didn't really care about and couldn't talk about. So now I'm just gonna talk about things I do care about, which is Succession season 3 premieres tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern on HBO. It's been a little while since season 2 ended. I think 2019 sometime, and it aired in August. So it ended in early fall. So it's been a little while. I think it got pushed back a little bit because of COVID, as most things have. So yeah, very excited to jump back in, see what the Roy family is up to. Season 2 ended with a big cliffhanger, so I can't wait to see how that plays out. I talked about this a little bit when we were on air over at York College. Just hiccuped. Marvel Studios Assembled: The Making of Black Widow comes out this Wednesday on Disney Plus. This is the behind the scenes videos where they show the making of their shows and movies. So this one's Black Widow. I think the week after that is the making of Shang-Chi. I'll double check with that next time we do a show. And then on Friday, Apple TV Plus, we have Invasion. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's an alien invasion somewhere in the American Midwest. something like that. I haven't watched the trailers, haven't really read the synopses or anything because I want to go in basically blind, but that's the general consensus. Very excited for it. I know Sam Neill's in it. Can't remember who else. Oops, Invasion from Mars. That's not what I wanted to look up. Show. But yeah, so I'll talk about that again too. Sam Neill. Yeah, that's like the only guy I know. Yeah, very excited for that. Accidentally saw a brief glimpse of the aliens, and they look like giant tentacle monsters from what I could tell. So that'll be cool.
Yeah. Well, before we exit TV and head over to Ben's sweet spot, Jared, I kind of want to ask if you think we should make Ted Lasso the show to watch, just so Ben has to watch it and participate in the discussion. I think we have to do it because
I don't want to cause any drama by doing that.
Jared, Ben is gonna fall in love with this show.
If you make it mandatory, I'll watch it.
What?
If you make it mandatory, I'll watch it.
See, he's gonna fall in love with this show. He is.
Okay. Well, how about we do this, because there's already 2 seasons of that, and it'll take a little while. And since you've already started Squid Game, we'll do Ted Lasso for not next show, but the show after that.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Some time. Is that fair?
It's fair.
All right.
Word.
All right. Cyber Shake on it.
Cyber Shake. Oh man. All right, Ben. Take away your music.
Yeah.
World.
Jump into music. I'm gonna admit that I have not been listening to a ton of music lately. It's been very selective, very here and there. I've just not been thrilled with what's coming out, but I have found some cool stuff that's coming out. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, we're gonna album trade. If you have been listening to our radio show, if you're a veteran listener, you know that we would trade albums, and I think it used to be that Jared and I would give Alec an album, he would review it, and then give us each an album. But this time we're going to change it a little bit. It's going to go 3 ways. We're each going to give an album, and we're going to listen to the 2 albums that the other 2 members gave, and our own if we feel like it. But yeah, so let's start with Jared. What do you got for us?
I just really want an excuse to talk about this album, so I'm doing Punk by Young Thug. This just came out Friday. It's really great. I've had it on repeat for a little while. He just performed a couple songs of it on SNL that I just watched. So yeah, really great. I know Ben's a big fan of Young Thug. We've been talking about this album for a while, out of anticipation. When did he announce that? February 20? Was it 2020 or 2019?
2020, because we were still like all in studio.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My memory is so warped in that area of my my life. So yeah, Punk by Young Thug.
Yeah, that's awesome. A lot of people, also veterans of the show, know that I brought D Smoke to the attention of these 2 a while ago. So my album is going to be his 2021 release, War and Wonders. I've been listening to this album since it came out. It's a great album. I think you guys are going to really love it. And I honestly think it's a step up from his last one. So looking forward to hear what you guys think about D Smoke's War and Wonders.
D Smoke.
Sounds good. He's the guy that sounds just like Kendrick Lamar, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, and then my album is Gorillaz self-titled project from I think 1999. I went a little. These guys picked 2 like recent albums. I went a little older.
2001.
2001. All right, you corrected me. Yeah, this is a really good album. I think it's a great place to jump into their discography. It's one of my favorite albums ever, and that's what I'm assigning you guys. But yeah, we'll talk about those next week. But for now, let's talk about what we've been listening to. Jared and I have both been listening to The Melodic Blue by Baby Keem. And Jared, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is his like debut full-length album.
Yes.
He's had like
correct.
Okay. He's had like projects before. I had heard of him, but I had never listened to any of his songs. I haven't gone back to listen to any of his earlier stuff, so this is my first exposure to Baby Keem. But I think I started listening to him because of the Kendrick Lamar feature on the Family Ties.
Yes.
That was a single that he released. I really liked Kendrick Lamar's feature. I thought Baby Keem's verse at the beginning was nice. It was really good. I haven't really been too in tune with rap lately, so I figured I'd give this a go, and I really liked it. So I listened to the full project. Just my quick thoughts. I think it was good. I don't think it was great. I think I texted the group chat or I texted Jared or something when it first came out. I was like, oh, this is really good. Like, I love it. And I think since then it's kind of like settled a little bit with me. I think it's above average. I think he definitely gets carried by his features on some songs, especially Kendrick on Range Brothers and Family Ties, like I said. And there's that hilarious top of the morning verse that Kendrick does.
Top of the morning.
I think the production is good. I think that is just, I don't know who did the production, but I think that's just coming from it being like a PG Lang product. And I think this is the first piece of media published under PG Lang, which is like Kendrick Lamar's collective. Yeah, but very exciting. It's always nice to hear Kendrick. Baby Keem, I think, is kind of outshined on some of his own songs, but I think it's a solid debut. And he's pretty young too, so he'll use.
He's just a baby.
Yeah, he is just a baby. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I'm interested to hear what Jared has to say.
Yeah, well, I was just pulling it up on Apple Music so I could bring up some specific songs, and I realized he did a deluxe. There's 3 new songs.
All right.
Which I have not heard, so I'll listen to those. Wait, why is this numbered like this? It goes 1 through 16, and then it goes 1, 2, 3 again.
It's probably like a two disc. It's supposed to be a 2-disc thing.
Okay.
Double album.
Sense. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, that distracted me. Yeah. I share a lot of similar thoughts as Ben. I do think he usually got outshined by the features, but he's got a great voice, and we do have to keep in mind this is his debut album. So I mean, if a debut album is outstanding, fantastic, even better, but for a debut album, this is really, really good. Range Brothers, Family Ties, all great. Trademark USA, South Africa, Do Rag Activity. I'm gonna talk about Travis Scott for a little bit. Never been a big Travis Scott fan, but he's been 4 for 4 on features with me recently. So if that's what Utopia ends up sounding like, I'll be very happy with that. But yeah, Do Rag Activity is really good. Boo Man, Vent, 16, all really good songs. And then he's got 3 new ones here: Lost Souls, Hooligan, and No Sense. So I'll be checking those out. Oh wait, Lost Souls is already. Oh, the Brent. It's got a Brent Faiyaz feature, I guess. That's what it's That's why it's new. Okay, so it's like a remix. But yeah, this is really great. He's got a nice style to him. Like Ben said, I'm really liking what he's doing. I'm interested to hear more. I'm gonna listen to those 3 new songs. And yeah, I really just want more Kendrick though. That's what that album really made me feel.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was trying not to let myself fall into that, like, oh man, this is really good, but that just makes me want more Kendrick.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, but moving on from that, I've also been listening to Talk Memory by Bad Bad Not Good. They're a Toronto-based jazz quartet, and they've they've had a lot of features with hip hop musicians. I'm trying to like look at who they've collabed with.
Yeah, I recognize their names.
Yeah.
Probably Drake.
Daniel Caesar. Yeah, it was Drake. Daniel Caesar, Drake. They did an album with Ghostface Killah, which was pretty good. Okay. But this is their latest album. It's much more instrumental. There are some like features here, but definitely a lot more I just said instrumental. Definitely a lot more instruments on this one. Not as many vocals, which I think is good, but not really what I was expecting. It's pretty short, 8 songs, 42 minutes. It's shorter than their other projects. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. I think it's kind of like forgettable. They've kind of like garnered like a huge like cult following. So like everything I see from them is like hyped up, and I don't think that this really lived up to that hype. It's weird to say that something like underground is like hyped up, but
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it was just okay. I think I'm just getting harder to impress as the years go by. So I'm gonna be more critical. But yeah, I mean that's what I've been listening to.
Not much couldn't get any more critical.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I didn't really. Is there anything like coming out that's like interesting? I didn't really see anything that like caught my eye.
Music wise, I know. Well, Billie Eilish's brother
Yeah.
who like produces all of her music. He came out with an album on Friday too, which I have not yet listened to, but I'm looking forward to.
New Coldplay.
New Coldplay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Let me,
Oh,
yeah.
Jared, Mac Miller.
Oh yeah, Faces. Yeah, he's got the. Yeah, I could talk about the new song on there.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's called Yeah, with bonus in parentheses at the end. I don't think it was recorded in the Faces era. I could be wrong because I did not look into it, but it sounds like something more from the Circles swimming era. It's like it's a little more. I know I use this phrase to describe Circles, and I hated it, but I just can't think of a better phrase to say. It's more sing-songy, more than like rap, which is definitely Faces. But yeah, it's really good. I showed my friend it last night, and he said it sounds like a James Bond theme. Which, if you know anything about James Bond songs, they're like really like big production, a lot of crescendo, things like that. And he's right on the money by saying that. It sounds so good. I can't stop listening to it. It's really fun. But yeah, and then big news: Faces is now on all streaming platforms. It was Mac Miller's. Personally, I think it's his magnum opus. It's his mixtape. He came out. He released in 2014. It's my favorite album ever. Not everything is exactly the same. They couldn't clear some of the samples. There are a few audio bites from the movie Where the Buffalo Roam, where Bill Murray plays Hunter S. Thompson. So there are a few intros, outros of his character, things like that. They got cut. However, I think the most important one, it's on It Just Doesn't Matter. It's an intro with Bill Murray talking. That's still there, and I think that sets up the song really well. That's still there. Probably the most important one they removed is the Hunter S. Thompson quote at the beginning of the end, the last song, Grand Finale, where he talks about going straight into a total psychotic meltdown or something like that. So yeah, it's just like little things here and there that kind of bring the themes of the album together, tied up in a nice little bow, if you could. That's how you want to say it. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. I'm just happy this will introduce a lot of people to Faces that don't use SoundCloud, don't know how to get their hands on it. So yeah, my vinyl is in the mail. It should be here tomorrow or sometime later this week. Very excited for that. Yeah, like I said, great album, Mac Miller. Go check it out if you haven't already.
I'm kind of hoping that this will like spur me back into like music. Like I don't know why I've just fallen out of love with music lately, but yeah, some good stuff. I'll listen to some stuff. Album trading. I'm excited to listen to these two albums, especially Punk.
Yes.
Because I've been anticipating it for so long. But yeah, let's jump into something that I haven't lost my love for, video games. Yeah, we've been playing a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff has come out, and Jared is fortunate enough to have a PS5.
Yes.
And he's playing one of the biggest releases of the year. So tell us about it, Jared.
Yes, sir. This is Far Cry 6. It's by something I didn't really realize, but it's by my favorite studio, Ubisoft.
Soft.
And the reason I bring that up is because the reason I'm enjoying this is because of the way Ubisoft makes their games. So I'll explain. I felt like I played the crap out of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and a lot of that was just pillaging England, taking over zones, building your community and things like that. And it's the same basic concept in Far Cry 6. You're in this fictional place called Yara that's a lot like Cuba, and you're revolutionaries. You're called the Libertads, and you're fighting against the fascist totalitarian president played by Giancarlo Esposito. His name is Anton Castillo. So you're fighting against him. You're taking out his soldiers, taking over military bases, things like that. So you're slowly spreading your control of the Libertad across Yara. So it feels very similar to Assassin's Creed in that way. And the thing that keeps me playing is everything you're doing feels like you're one unified goal. Like a lot of games have side quests that don't really mean anything to the grand scheme of the plot, but every single side quest, activity, anything you're doing in this game is working towards the main goal, which is taking down Anton Castillo's power. You're always you're doing races to get more materials for your Libertad and your people and everything. Every little thing you do is to support the cause. And I think that's what just keeps me playing. I'm trying to wipe out all of the red from the map, make it all blue. The fascists are red, Libertad's blue, blah blah blah. So yeah, I've been playing it way too much, probably. With that being said, all the fun that I'm having, it does feel a little different from the other Far Cry games. I was telling Ben about that a couple days ago. We were talking. One of the things I loved about Far Cry was how you were always in first person for most of the game, except you'd see your character like once, either in a mirror or in a photo of you, things like that. You know, even cutscenes, they flawlessly blended from the gameplay into the cutscene. This one, they got rid of that. They replaced it with pre-rendered cinematics, which have a worse frame rate than the actual game, which is pretty distracting. It changes from full screen to widescreen mode. So you've got black bars on the top and bottom of your screen. And it's in third person, so you can see your character from the front. You see him a lot. So for that, it just kind of breaks immersion a little bit for me. That's just a personal taste thing. It's something I noticed. Another thing that kind of bothers me, you have these things called Supremos and what are the other ones? Reveilleur weapons. They're just like I don't explain it. It's like the Fallout weapons that just are constructed really haphazardly. It's not built with actual, gun parts or anything. You've got like silencers that are built out of like bottles of milk, things like that, which looks fine to an extent. But then you have these Supremo weapons, which are backpacks, and they essentially work like alts, like something you'd find in Overwatch or something like that. You fight for a while and you build up the power with it, and eventually it's ready. You press L1, R1, and the one I have, it shoots a rocket barrage into the sky, and they target enemies and blows them all up. Just feels a little gimmicky based on what we've had previously in Far Cry. It's also really easy to just not use those weapons or use the any of the other weapons that seem a little crazy. You can just not use them. You have to buy them with depleted uranium. So you can do that, but you don't have to use them at all. It's not like you're at a disadvantage because there are plenty of other weapons to use. So those are just my critiques with it, but I'm still having a lot of fun. Yara looks great as a world. A lot of crazy stuff you can do. Finding all these wacky, found like a hovercraft thing. It's like it's like the chassis of a go-kart, but then it's got helicopter blades on the front and on the back, basically. And I figured out that can also go on water. And if I glide it like right over the ground, I don't get targeted by anti-aircraft stuff. So it's like really weird things going on. But yeah, you can ride horses, which I think is new. Yeah, I'm having fun. I don't know how close I am to beating it because I kind of neglect the story just to complete the map as much as I can and then move on to the story. But yeah, I'm having fun. Haven't played too many games this year, really, but it's probably top 3. So, yeah. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Apex Legends with my friends, but I think I've talked about that on the show before. So, a couple other games I've been playing. One of them is Hades, which is a like top-down third-person dungeon crawler. It won Game of the Year from like 6 or 7 pretty reputable like outlets. So it was on sale for like $20. I was like, all right, I'll give it a go. It's really accommodating for like beginners. I've never been a fan of like the dungeon crawler. If you don't know what that is, think like Diablo or even like the camera angles in like League of Legends and stuff. It's like the top down from like behind your shoulder. Like power-ups along the way, your character has like special powers. But the premise of this is really interesting. You play as Prince Zagreus, who is the son of Hades. And for whatever reason, your goal is to escape the underworld and go to the top like layer of the earth, I guess just the world, and meet your mother, who you presume is someone that lives in the underworld with you, but is actually like a human woman. So it's really interesting. And the gameplay kind of incorporates the premise really well. It's really funny too. Zagreus has his own room, and to escape the underworld, you literally jump out of a window deeper into the underworld and then like work your way back up. And Hades knows that you do it, and every time you go back, he won't stop you, but he like will taunt you for dying or whatever. And every time you die, you come back up into the lobby where like all the other souls are coming through. And there's this really cool thing that happens where there are characters in like the lobby and throughout the world. And every time you talk to them, they will have different dialogue. There's no like repeating dialogue. And it's really impressive when you consider that's like a Dark Souls type game where like you're going to die like so many times. It's like Achilles is in the underworld. Medusa's head flies around and like cleans like dust off the rafters, and she gets like yeah, it's really interesting. You can pet Cerberus, which is really cool. As for like the actual gameplay in the dungeons, you get 5 or 6 different kinds of weapons you can choose from. You can only carry one at a time. I kind of found that the spear, the trident, is really overpowered. So there's really no reason to use anything else. The gods are assisting you in your journey. They'll drop you power-ups, and the only ones really worth your while are probably Athena, which are like the defensive ones, and Ares, which are like the offensive ones. It's a lot of luck. If you can get the right power-ups, you can make it pretty far. You only beat the game when you complete a full run 10 times, which I haven't done successfully yet. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you have Xbox, it's on Game Pass. If you have PlayStation, it's usually around $25. But I really recommend it. It's really accommodating to beginners. Like I said, I didn't think I would like it, but I had a lot of fun with it. I'm going to try to beat it. Graphics are really nice. The music is really nice. Feels really responsive. And yeah, had a lot of fun with it. And then my next game is a PGA 2K21. It's one of the free games of the month for PS Plus. And I figured I'd give it a shot. It's actually really fun. It's kind of hard to play golf on the PlayStation. You have to like apply just enough pressure on the left stick or the right stick, whichever you choose. And then just enough pressure going forward as well to actually hit the ball. So it's hard to get the hang of, but once you do, it's pretty fun. It's relaxing. I'm a pretty big golf guy, but I suck at it in real life. So I guess this is a way for me to actually be good at it. But yeah, pretty fun game. Not really much more to say. It's just kind of like golf. It's the graphics are terrible, I will say. They try to put like animals on the golf course to be like hazards, and the deer are like, it's like a PS1. You guys have seen that Twitter account that's like poorly rendered animals or whatever, and yeah, it's pretty much something from that. But yeah, nice to unwind when I'm not getting slaughtered in Apex.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm really excited to hear what Alex says about this next game. It's a game that Jared and I have both played and reviewed pretty positively. He's a little late to the curve here, but tell us what you think.
Well, I actually purchased Red Dead Redemption 2 when it came out and played the first chapter and then just stopped. And it wasn't, and I just stopped because I just didn't have time to sit down and play it. And now that I'm down here and I have a few days off a week, I'll just sit down and play through it. So I'm finally getting a chance to get through this game, and I'm loving it. Yeah. Emma started to play it and she plays it nonstop. Like she has not stopped playing this game and she loves it too. It's crazy. Like it's getting wild. I'm sure anybody who's listening and cares about our video game conversations has already played this game and completed it by now. So I'm at the part right now where Arthur Morgan just got diagnosed with tuberculosis, which kind of threw me off a little bit. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And I don't think I have too much left, but whenever I save, it says I have like 50% complete. But the game, every time I'm on a mission, it feels like the game's winding down or something big's about to happen. Like it feels like Arthur's arc is over, but the game's not quite there. So I feel like something's gonna happen really soon, and then I'm gonna have a whole lot left to do, but I'm not sure.
Go ahead.
The trip off to that island, I can't remember,
right.
Guyana or something like that. That was pretty weird. There was a lot going on at that time, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I'll give you, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm going to give you some advice. Make sure you have plenty of money, because there's a certain point in the game, I think about where you are, where you like stop getting money from story missions. So I like ran out of money really quick, and I couldn't even afford like ammo towards the end of the game.
Shit.
But
Dog.
Yeah, I do. I try to do all those like stranger missions
Yeah.
like right away.
Yeah. Do as much of that as you can. I'm not going to tell you how the game ends because it's not going to go how you expect, but you cannot replay like most of the map. I tried to save all that stuff for the end, and then when I beat the game, you can't do them.
Really?
Yeah, so
And I
keep
kind
that in
of, I
mind.
feel like I've been kind of noticing that, like, especially when I move from like chapter to chapter, if there was like some small stuff left to do, it's just gone.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes they leave after a certain chapter, which is ridiculous.
That kind of sucks.
It's very immersive. I get what they're going for, but not knowing that ahead of time, I missed out on a lot, and I'm not
Yeah.
replaying a 60-hour game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's Red Dead's really interesting because like looking back on it, I don't ever think I was having like a ton of fun, but when I was playing it, I like couldn't put it down. Like there was something about it where like
I just like that
I
it
don't know, it's
makes
just
you
fun.
think nonstop.
Yeah.
Like you're always trying to like think about, all right, because like with like Call of Duty style games and those campaigns, they kind of feel tunneled. This one is just like a whole open map.
Yeah.
You just have to
Yeah.
figure, and you're just kind of figuring it out. And it's literally the Wild West. So like it's nothing's really organized in any kind of like fight. So there'll just be like waves of O'Driscolls or Lemoyne Raiders coming in,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. Dude, the Saint Denis police department they're endless. They have so many cops there, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm loving the game, and I'm really hoping, and I'm kind of afraid that Arthur's gonna die of tuberculosis, so I'm like trying to catch and kill all of these
Yeah.
legendary animals before he dies.
That was the most fun, killing all the
I think
legendary
it's
animals.
so much fun. I played the game for I think 2-3 hours just fishing one time.
Yeah.
Just trying to catch some of these legendary animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Jared said, like there's a lot of stuff I still want to go back and do in that game, but I'm just not going to sit and play through the campaign again. I don't think I have it in me. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're liking it. It is a great game. I have a lot of critiques with it, but I think that it's still very well made, and I don't want to taint your opinion of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell us what
Quick
you think. Keep us
question.
posted. Go ahead.
You don't have to tell me like when or how, but does what happened in Blackwater ever come up? Like, do I figure out what happened? You can just give me a yes or no. Because like right now, Blackwater is a big red.
I don't
dead or
remember.
alive, and I don't go over there.
You're allowed to go there at some point. I don't know if it's ever like explained. I guess you just assume that like they just use it as like a plot device in the beginning to like show why the gang is like splintered and like why there are so few members and why Dutch why Dutch is like paranoid. I think it is explained actually because there's like a lot of really cryptic hints throughout the game about like what happened, and I think someone
because people
like,
keep bringing it up.
Yeah, but I know that you
Micah brings it up all the time.
I don't remember actually.
I don't like
Oh,
he's really annoying.
Yeah, no, Micah, I guess that means that he's like well written because like you just like hate him.
He's one of the best video game
He
villains.
is very well written, but I can't stand him. I'm like,
Yeah.
I wish I could just shoot you in the back of the head, dude. Like, I don't like Micah. But anyway, coming down to my random thoughts of the day.
This made me laugh because like it it just says
Buzz Lightyear
right now.
Yep. So Buzz Lightyear, in case you guys did not know, his original name was Lunar Larry.
That is infinitely worse.
Yeah. They decided they decided that it was too wacky and decided to pay homage to Edwin Aldrin, otherwise known as Buzz. So he became Buzz for a time being, and then didn't really know what to call his last name. So they just kept spouting off in the writer's room as many different like spacey terms they could find, and Lightyear came up, and that was the coolest astronaut name that they could think of to go with Buzz. So Buzz Lightyear worked his way into our hearts.
Absolutely.
What's Woody's last name? Do you guys remember that?
Oh, I think I remember.
Oh,
I put it.
no.
I put it in the. I put it in the trivia.
It's been too long.
I know it's been a while. I think I remember it.
It's Pride.
Yep, you are correct. I just
Wow.
I just found it. Yeah, Woody Pride. That's right.
Woody Pride.
You're gonna remember that one forever.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
But his design for Buzz Lightyear's design was supposed to be very G.I. Joe-esque, which I think actually they did a pretty dang good job. Space version of G.I. Joe looking guy.
Yeah.
However,
You guys gonna see the Lightyear movie?
I didn't even know that existed.
Not yet.
I don't know. I didn't even know that it is going to exist.
Yeah, next summer. Well, I guess this summer. Chris Evans plays Buzz Lightyear.
I-
But it's the real guy, the real fake guy that Buzz Lightyear's based off of.
Yeah. But yeah, at the Disney stores now, the Buzz Lightyears, the wings don't come out.
No way.
What do they do? Are they already out, or they just...
No, they're just stuffed in. You can't expand his wings.
What?
Or this, and the only ones with his wings expanded, I think, are the stuffed animals, like the stuffed ones.
Man, I had all the best Pixar. Well, they're the best at the time. They could have been pieces of junk for all I knew, but I had like Buzz, Woody, a bunch of Monsters Inc. ones, and I remember Buzz had his
You
wings.
push the button and the wings just right out.
Yeah, I had that.
They don't do that anymore.
What?
It's so depressing.
Buzz Lightyear.
What, you can't pull Woody's string anymore.
What's the point?
I don't know.
My
I think it's because like it's a choking hazard or it's dangerous for children. I'm like, that's stupid. It's a toy.
my biggest regret in my entire life is when I was a kid, I think I was like 5 or 6. We went to Sears in the mall, and my parents gave me a choice of like a toy. And it was either like the tall like Buzz Lightyear action figure or like a Hot Wheels like track. And I got the Hot Wheels track, and it broke within like 2 days.
No,
And it just didn't work anymore. So I feel like my life would be drastically different now if I went with Buzz Lightyear.
Definitely would have been.
So
that's a shame.
Yeah.
Wait, Alec, I'm looking at this video, and this new Buzz toy does have collapsible wings.
did Alec just lie on air?
No, I was at the Disney store like a month ago, and they had no Buzz Lightyears with collapsible wings.
I don't
Hold
know,
on,
man.
I'm watching an Amazon review video.
There's photographic proof.
Yeah, he just pressed the button and they went.
All right. Well, I was.
But I don't know if this is a new one. Hold on.
The
Maybe
Disney
it's like a-
store, then the Disney store in Pottstown, PA needs to get its act together.
I mean, it's
Order some
Pottstown.
of these.
Yeah, I don't know. This says I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know what year this is from because it could be a no, this is like an
Maybe it's
update.
just like a certain model. Maybe it's more
Yeah.
like a collectible thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
Also Disney stores in general kind of suck now.
Yeah, I agree.
They don't like I
They're
went there looking
closing
for
like half of them.
yeah, they are. I went there looking for like a basic like Marvel thing and they didn't have it.
Yeah.
I think it depends. It also probably the one in New York would probably have it. I don't remember where I was at.
Probably.
Park City or something.
ooh. There used to be a store in Park City called Heat Check. I don't know if it's still there, but
Heat check.
they sold like blatantly fake like streetwear. And I had friends that would go there and would buy like there was like 2016 or like 17 when that was like really blowing up, and they would buy like a Bape like Supreme like phone case, like a sweatshirt or something, like, oh, this is like limited. I was like, wow. It was like, I think they once people figure that out, like they closed, but I don't know why. I just thought of that. I would go in there and they would have like a Supreme for a long time when they were like really popular, had like ashtrays.
Yeah.
And they would have like, it would
Did
be
you buy
like,
an ashtray?
no, it would be like that Bape like shark like face thing,
Yeah,
with, like
yeah,
the
yeah.
Supreme logo and like the Kith like it's just, I don't know why I thought of that. It's just so funny. Streetwear was a weird time. I was really
Yeah.
into it for a while, like the sneakers and stuff.
I remember when we made those videos for New Media, you talked about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it's just like I don't have like money now, but like I'm
Yeah.
just wearing Vans. No
Yeah.
more Yeezys for me.
Ben's not a gearhead anymore.
No, I just champion hoodies and shorts. That's what I wear these days.
Utah hoodies.
No, not anymore. I don't know where that went. I lost it.
Oh no, Briggs took
I
it.
lost. He took it with him when he retired.
Yeah. But oh man, I think that's all the time we got today, guys.
Yeah.
I missed you guys.
I miss you too.
Yeah,
And all our wonderful listeners, obviously.
And
I
Jeff
just- I
Schiffman,
had, I had to give you all a hug. I missed
And
you
Jeff-
guys.
Oh, is that a
That's what I did. I just gave a big hug.
cyber hug.
Oh my god. All right, well.